So today we are going to talk about a concept called file server. The file server is nothing but it is a server created in your organization to store all your files and folders in a hierarchical manner. Imagine if you don't have a server and you are working in an organization. Imagine you are working in an organization and you are working as a IT lead, team lead, and you have all the critical information of the project, of the ongoing activities, inventory, vendor information, project status, everything with you. And you are going out of the organization. Okay. And if you store all the data in your laptop, in the local machine, the person who is getting replacement for you, right? He may not have all the information. Okay, once you move out of the organization, the new person may not get all the required information, even though you manage to copy the data or shadowing the data to the new person. You may not be able to give 100%. There are some chances of losing the data, and again copying the data, giving the access, ensuring everything is aligned. It is actually a kind of tedious thing. To avoid that thing, what we will do here, we can create a server called file server. You can create a Windows 2012 or 2019 or 2022 operating system, and you can install the file server role in that, and you use that server to store all your data. Like imagine this is my file server, and it has got a drive called D drive, the data drive, and under that you can create a folder called data. So if you look at this hierarchy, under the data folder, I have created multiple folders here. Okay, IT is a folder, admin is a folder, and sales is a folder. So what we will do, we will store all the tower related information in this IT. So IT tower all will store the data under the IT. Admin peoples will store all the admin department related information in the admin folder. Similarly, the sales team, they will keep all the RFP information, project deals informations, and all the status information in the sales folder. So tomorrow, if any user who left the organization, imagine you are in the IT department, you leave the organization IT department. So you were here actually, you are a user one. Imagine you are a user one. You had access to this IT folder, okay, and you were able to read and write the data and copy the data, create a file folder, everything. So tomorrow you are moving out of the organization. That doesn't mean that we will lose the data, because you are not storing all the data in your local machine. You are storing all the data in the central depository, which is your file server. So what we will do, the person who joins in place of you, right? Imagine he is a user 2. For user 2, what I will do, I'll go to this D colon data under the IT, under that IT folder, and I will add user 2 here and give the required permissions, and the user 2 now has got all the data or access to all the data files and informations, okay, which the user 1 has. That's the beauty. Okay. So in the files and in the file services, you can give multiple types of permissions actually. So there are multiple types of permissions. Okay. The first one is share permission. The second one is NTFS permission. First one is share permission. Second one is NTFS permission. If you read the name, the first one, it has got a share permission. Share permission means when we give the share permission, the pupils on the network, imagine the server is there in the uh, Western Europe region, and you are working in the India Bangalore location office, and you want to access that IT folder via network path. If you don't give the share permission, you will not be able to see the folder at all. Once you give the share permission, you can see the files and folders in the network. Say for example, if you go to the server run and double slash, if you put the file server 01 like that and slash data slash it, if you don't have the shared permission, you cannot see the, or you will not see the files and folders there. So we need to give the share permission. So share permission will be given to ensure you have the visibility of the files and folders over the network. That is called as shared permission. So the NTFS permission is very, very important. The NTFS permission, we also call it as security permission. So security permission means you can decide and define who should have what level of access. Okay, there are multiple permissions under NTFS permissions. See, in the shared permissions also you have read and full control. In NTFS permissions also you have read, write, modify, full control and special permissions also. But always NTFS permission will override the shared permissions. Imagine you have a folder and that folder you have modify access in the shared permission. But in the NTFS permission, you have only read permission. That time, NTFS permission only win. So you will not be, even though shared permission says to modify, but NTFS says to read, you will only have the read permissions. So always NTFS has got the highest priority. Other way, imagine in the read share permission, you have only read permission. But in the NTFS permission, you have modify permission. That time, even though shared permission tells you to read, but NTFS tell you to modify, you have the modify access. So what I'm going to tell you is always NTFS permissions has got highest priority and NTFS will win against shared permission. Clear? Yes. Now we have multiple types of permissions in the NTFS. The first one is you have read permission. So read permission means you can only read the files and folders. You can read the content of it, but you cannot do any read, write or modification operations. You can only see what is there. So before read also you have one more called list view that comes under the special. I'll explain you later. So next one is write permission. Okay, so read permission, write permissions, and another one will be there modify permission. Modify means it has got both read and write. Next one is full control. So full control is also a permission. Okay, so when you have, you may have a question now. See, okay, sir, when I say modify, I will be able to read it, I will be able to write, I will be able to delete, I will be able to create new files and folders. Then what is the difference between modify and full control? The only major difference between the modify and full control, if you have a full control permission, you can even change the ownership of the file. So say for example, I have a folder here, okay, maybe the folder called IT, and myself, I am the owner, okay, user 1 is the owner. But if I give you access, say for example, you are the user 2. So user 2, when you get the owner access, what he can do, he can change the permission of the user 1 from owner to any other permission also. Means I can remove user 1 as a owner, I can make user 3 as a owner, or I can make user 1 as a reader, modifier. Okay, like that I can even change the access of a owner permission when you have ownership access. So owner means he can do, he can take any kind of decision. No, he can take any person. Say for example, you are in an organization, you are running an organization, and you are the owner. So you have the privilege of taking the person to work whomever you want, or you have the privilege to remove a person from the job whomever you want. Correct? Na? The same fashion applicable here. When you got a ownership access, you can even change the ownership of the files and folders. You can even remove the current owner. Okay, that is the ownership level of access. Okay, that comes under full control. The next one is special permissions. So special permissions are nothing but some explicit access. So you may need to give access to one person. He just need to see what all files and folders are there. If you just open the folder, you should be able to see there are 10 Excel files, 10 JPEG files, 5 text files. But you should not be able to open the file and see what content is there inside it. That time you have another access called list view. If you read the wording, na, it says list view. List view means whatever list of files and folders are there inside that folder, he can only see that. He can see there are 20 files. Out of 20 files, Excel file, 5 PPT files, Word files, text files, JPEGs, MPEGs, MP3. He can only see that content. But he cannot see what inside the content. He cannot open the text file and see what is written in that. You cannot open Excel file and see what content is there in that. Okay, that is limited. That is called as list view. So these are the permissions we have. Okay. So in your day-to-day roles and responsibility with respect to the file server, okay, you may get access. So these are the day-to-day things in the day-to-day operations. So what are the day-to-day operations? So you may get ticket to provide the access. Provide the access to files or folders, or remove the access, or validate the access. Okay. So these are the major activity that you get. Sometimes you may also get to check the inheritance. So inheritance is nothing but, okay, imagine you have a major folder called IT. Under that you may have multiple departments, maybe Windows, and then Linux, and then backup. Okay. If you have access here, user 1, he has got modify access. When he has got access at the IT folder level, because this is a parent folder, and all these Windows, Linux, and backup are all the child folders. Okay. The permission from the IT OU level, or from the parent OU level, or from the parent folder level, will be keep on inheriting to the child objects. The user 1 I have added to the IT folder, but due to the inheritance, the same level of permissions will be getting inherited to the child folders here, Windows, Linux, and backup, and that is called as inheritance. Means carry over the properties or the characteristics of the parents to the child objects or the child folders is called as inheritance. So sometimes what happens, you may need to stop the inheritance. You don't want to give access for a Linux administrator to the Windows data, or you don't have to give for the Linux user, for the Linux folder to the Windows users. So that time what you will do, you can actually restrict, or you can even break the inheritance at the particular folder level, so that the upper people should not be able to see the content of the child objects or the child folders. This is called as inheritance. Okay. So this is the points I wanted to explain about the file server. You are already aware now. File server is nothing but a server where you can keep all your files and folders for centralized administration and control. So there are two types of permissions: share permissions. Another one is NTFS permissions. The share permissions means it will help you to make the folders or the files visible over the network. The next one is NTFS permission. The NTFS permissions are nothing but the security permissions, where you will use security permissions for the files and folders to control the access. There are multiple level of access we have. The first one is read permission or read access, write access, modify access, full control and special permissions. So read access will only give you the read operations. You can only read the content, open the file, read the content what is there, but you cannot modify anything, you cannot make edit anything, you cannot delete something. Okay. Write means you can open the file, make the modification, but you cannot delete the file. But when you have modify permission, you can open the file, see the content. If you find any problem or any mistakes, you can correct it and you can save it, and you can even delete the file when you have modify access. Next one is full control. When you say full control, you can do all the above permissions. You have read, write, modify, create, delete, update, everything can be done. Along with that, you can even change the ownership of the files and folders when you have full control permission. The next one is the special permissions. Sometimes you may need to have some special permissions like list view, advanced, all those things. Okay. Example, list view. You just have to give the visibility how many files and folders are there, what type of content is there inside the folder. That time you can give the special permissions. With the special permission, the user can only see what is the content, but inside the file and folder, what data is there he cannot see. That is covered in the list view. And if I talk about the day-to-day operations with respect to the file servers, okay, tickets, if I am talking about, you may get access or you may get tickets to give access to files and folders, or you may get tickets to remove access to files and folders, or you may get access to validate what level of permissions I have for a so and so user to validate. That also you may get a ticket. And sometimes to play with the inheritance, to block the inheritance or to enable the inheritance, you may get the tickets. Okay. So these are all the day-to-day tickets you will get it. So that is with respect to the file server theory. Let me take you to the lab now. Okay. Well, so now I have logged into the server. You see this is my Windows Server 2016 data center version. Okay. So what I'll do, let me go to the my computer and see what is my data drive. If you see, my data drive is E drive. My E drive is there, and if you look at, there is a folder already created called data. Okay, what I will do, I will not use that. Let me create a new folder. Okay, DATA data. Okay, sorry, or you can create, because already name exists. You can create like file server or data file server. Okay, imagine you have the folder here. Inside this one you can create multiple thing. Okay, right click and create a folder called IT, and one more called sales. Okay, so now in the IT you have to see who and all has got access. Go here, go to security. See here, everybody, users from Google/users, all the users. Okay, from the Google/users, they have read, execute, list folder content, read, this permissions they have. But if you see the administrator, you see administrator of Google/administrators, all the permissions they have. Full control, full control. If you click on full control, all the permissions will be there. System users also full control. Creator by default they will have access. Okay, so this is the thing. If you look at the share permission, the folder is not shared. So if I go to the PC02 here, and if I want to access my server, what is my server is DC01. Okay, DC01. I'm trying to access the DC01 folder, but if you see, I'm not getting the folder called file server, because the folders are inside the file server. Correct, na? That is why I don't see the folders here, because the folders does not have the shared permission. But if I go to DC01 again, go back to the file server here, okay, right click and go to properties, go to sharing. It says the file server is not shared. What I have to do, I have to click on share, and here if you click on drop down, you see everyone, add, and here permission is there. You can do read permission, read write permission. Okay, I'll give read write permission and share. See now, it is telling, do you want to change the setting for these items as well? Because the files and folder, the file server has got the two folders called IT and sales. Even it is telling, would you like to share that? Yes, I want to make the changes. Done. You see now, the file server is shared now, and you see the shared path, it is /DC01/file server. So now, if I go to the PC02 and if I just refresh, you can see the folder called file server. See, now you can see the file server, and you see the symbol, network symbol is there, patch cable symbol is there. Now that is nothing but it is, the folder is shared, and you can open this IT. See, now I think I am the admin department. Who am I? If I see, who am I? See, I am the administration department. Okay, so admin people is able to access the file from the IT department. See, you can create a file. Hi, I can modify something and I can even save it. See, the admin user is able to access the file for files and folder of IT department. Means the security is not that much. There is no control now. Okay, so if I see, you can even access the other folders also, sales also. Right click, I'll create a new files and folder, text. See, he is able to modify, he is able to create the thing, he is able to delete the thing, but he is not the right person. So what we will do now, we will try to restrict by creating certain groups. Okay, so if I go to Active Directory here, in the Active Directory there will be some groups, actually department wise groups will be there. Go to Active Directory users and computers here, and if you go to the IT, you can create, right click, new group, BNG, first is Google BNG IT file server modify. Okay, so like this they will create the groups. If you want to give modify access, you add the users here. If you want to create one more group, this is not modify, this is read only. See, like this we will create the groups. And now what we will do, we will go to the file server here, go to the file server, under the IT, right click, go to properties, go to security, click on edit, click on add, and add those group, actually those two groups you add here, check names. You see both the groups names here, added. Now if you see, the modify user should have modify access. See, modify group I have clicked on and I have selected modify access, and click on read only permission is there, right? There I will, what I will do, I will only do the read permissions. See, read permissions, apply, okay, and you can remove this all, not this one, Google/users will be there, that you can remove it. Actually, 1 second, everyone is there now. First you have to remove this everyone, remove everyone. Now you have restricted, one second. So what I did now, I have opened the group called read only group, Google-BNG-ITFS, and I have added Shreyas. Apply and OK. Now what I will do, I will go to the PC02 log off and log in as Shreyas and see if I am able to modify the files and folder, because I have added Shreyas to the read only group. Ideally you should be able to read the permissions. You should only have the read permission, you should not be able to modify. So PC02, now log in again with Shreyas ID. So I'm able to log in as Shreyas to the machine now. You can even directly add the users, but directly adding the users will cause lot of problems down the line. Okay, when you have lot of users, lot of permissions, lot of requests comes, no, you don't know where to remove whom. But if you provide the access via security groups, it is always good to control and you will have good governance also. Okay, now go to the run and double slash and put dc01. And now you will be able to see the file server here. See, I don't have access at the top level, because at the top level I have removed permission to everyone and it is working perfectly fine now. So then what I have to do, I have to go to the run folder here, put dc01 slash and then file server and then IT. Now if you see, I should be able to access. See, I am able to open the IT folder now, because I have access to only the IT for you, not for the file server, because in the file server I have removed everyone. So now let me see if I can create a file. I logged in as Shreyas. I am trying to create a file. Click on text. See, it says you need permission to perform this action. Means you are unable to create a new file. But why? Because you have only read permission. So let me open this text file. Yes, you are able to open the text file and see the content. Let me make some modification and try to save it. It won't happen because you only have read permission. See, it is telling to save, overwrite, yes, but if you see, there is no permission. You do not have permission to open this file. See the owner, means talk to the owner or administrator to get the access. So now what I will do, if I go to the Active Directory server again here, add, remove this Shreyas from the member of read only. Okay, now try to add to him modify. Shreyas has got access now and he is part of modify access folder. And if you see this permission of the files and folders, right here on the IT, if you see, go to properties, security, and if you see modify permissions, click on the modify group, you have modify. If you want to see Shreyas access now, go to advanced, go to effective access here, select the user, put Shreyas. Now if you want to see access of Shreyas, see, now Shreyas has got, except full control, he has got every access. He cannot delete the subfolders, but he can traverse and execute the file, list the folder, read attributes, create the files, write the data, append the data, all the permission is possible. Now let me go back to the PC02. I close this. Now try to create some file. Okay, let me refresh once. We need to refresh it, otherwise it won't reflect. So what I'll do, let me quickly open the same folder again, or I may need to log off and log in, or it will take some time. Okay, no, I need to log off and log in because this session already expired, established. So we need to log off and log in to the computer with Shreyas ID again. Then he can see all the required access, the new access. Go to PC02, send controller delete, login. it is logging in. So now I am able to log in. Let me access the file server, and my path is file server slash IT. This is actually okay. And now if you try to create a file, you should be able to create a file. See, new text file. You can create a new file, make some content in it, okay, save it. You can even go to the old file, you can do modifications, save it. You can even delete that old file. See, everything is possible. You know why? Because now you have modified the access for Shreyas. Previously, Shreyas has got only read permission, but now you have changed the permission to the Shreyas. Okay, so like this. And if I'm talking about the inheritance, you see here, when you go to the files and folder, if I go to file server here, go to properties, go to security, go to advanced, there you have, see, enable inheritance. Replace all the child object permissions entries with the inheritable permission entries from this object. Means when you enable this one, whatever access is there on the top level, that will go and applicable for the child objects. If you don't want that, then you can uncheck this one, so that it won't get inherit. This is the one I was talking about. Then how to check who is the file owner? Go to advanced, and you see here who is the owner of this file server folder. It is owner is nothing but the administrator. Google administrator is the owner. So now I have logged into the machine here. Let me try to change the ownership for this ITOU. If I go here, properties, security, advanced, here administrator is the owner is the administrator. Okay, let me try to change. See, sorry, so Shreyas, see, it got changed. So this is how you can, but if I apply, it won't happen. See, there it got changed, but when I say apply, it is not, because you don't have access. Because Shreyas has got only modify permission, but if Shreyas has got owner permission, he can change the permission. So let me go here and add Shreyas as owner here. Permissions, add Shreyas, and make him full control. So I have made him full control. No, give full control, apply, okay. Now if I go to the PC02, now if I try, see, applied, okay. Now Shreyas has got full control access, and that is the reason he is able to change the permission of the ownership. If you see, if you look at the security, go to advanced, and if you see Shreyas owner is now Shreyas. He can even make the change now from Shreyas to administrator. He can put administrator, apply. Okay, this is something else. 1 second, it should be administrators. Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll change it from here. I'll go to the DC01, go to the file server, I'll go to properties, go to security, I'll go to advanced. It is owner only, so administrator is still administrator. Owner is administrator only, so nothing to worry. Okay, fine. So this is how you will play with the permissions actually. So now you know how to grant access, how to check the access, how to give modify access, how to control the access, how to disable the inheritance, enable the inheritance, and how to check the access. Okay, so these are the some of the file server related activities that you do in your day to day operations. Okay, so any questions guys so far? If no questions, I think we are good. Let me stop the recording and then I'll take the questions. Thank you all.